I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say, remember, they can hear you.
Oh my god. Is there a bug in my eye? I filled up. I ran right after this. I wasn't sure. Yeah, well, it hit me. I don't know what it is. I couldn't see it was there.
You know what? I want to tell that we can get a Cradle of Aviation sign on there.
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, honestly, get more of the building and less of the people.
Yeah, I don't want to stop.
Oh, someone's watching.
We have a few seats that we can reserve. Or if you prefer more.
Yeah, and then I can also take around and take pictures. It's very comfortable. All right.
We're just so happy to be able to do it.
Yeah. And it's nice to include our students.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very happy to have them.
Mark?
She just said don't lose the quarter, it's to be worth more money. It's not.
I can
worth more
definitely check
questions.
with the folks who are everything. Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I think you can all do a little better than that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. There we go. My name's Andy Parton. I'm the president of the Cradle of Aviation Museum, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to this very special event where we get to honor the life and legacy of a true American hero, Dr. Sally Ride. If you can, please rise and welcome Garden City High School students Grayson Gardy and Erin O'Connor, who will sing our national anthem. Thank you. We can all take a seat. Now, we know it's going to get a little hot and steamy a little bit later, but we will try to keep the speeches to a minimum as quickly as we can, because I know if you've been sitting there a while, it can catch up with you a little bit. Tomorrow marks the 39th anniversary of Sally Ride's first flight, so it's very fitting that we're here to unveil this wonderful statue today. Today, it's real hard to find individuals we can look up to, people we would consider to be heroes, those who set an example for others to follow. When you look at all that she's accomplished, I think you'll agree that Sally Ride is that hero we've been looking for. You know, being the first in anything comes with its own set of expectations. Not far from where we are, Charles Lindbergh became the first to fly the Atlantic back in 1927. 20 years later, in 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first African American to break the color barrier in baseball just west of us in Brooklyn. And in 1969, Neil Armstrong became the first person to set foot on a moon in a lunar module that was built right here on Long Island. A famous quote from Jackie Robinson, I believe, says it best: "A life is not important except in the impact it has on others. So let's talk a little bit about Sally. She was one of over 8,000 applicants to apply to NASA to be an astronaut, and she was selected as one. She became the first American woman and the youngest American at the time to soar into space aboard the space shuttle. And she served on 2 shuttle missions, STS-7 in 1983 and STS-41G in 1984. After her last shuttle mission, she served on panels investigating the Challenger explosion and the disintegration of the shuttle Columbia. Her work led to enhanced safety protocols on future missions. To that end, she founded Sally Ride Science in her home state of California to pursue that passion for motivating girls and young women to pursue careers in STEM. So when we remember Jackie Robinson's quote about the impact you have on other lives, Sally Ride has accomplished that goal, and we know she will continue to inspire young girls for years to come. We're pretty confident that young girls and boys who see this statue as they visit the museum will serve to be inspired and who knows, one of them could be the first to set foot on the red planet. I believe this statue will show that Sally Ride's influence and inspiration is now coast to coast, from Sally Ride Science in California to the Cradle of Aviation Museum here on Long Island. Now, there's a number of people I'd like to recognize and thank for their help. First, we're honored to have with us Nassau County Controller Elaine Phillips. Round of applause. Representing New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, Jacqueline Roth. I'd like to recognize students from Atkinson Intermediate School in Freeport. Where are they? Come on, a little louder. Students from Garden City High School, Garden City Middle School, and St. William the Abbot Elementary School, who are here with us today. I'd also like to recognize members of the Cradle's Board of Trustees, Vice Chair Ann Shabunko Moore, and trustees Peter Stern, Teresa Ferraro, Dr. Kishore Kuncham, and Mike Stromer, and I believe Todd Richmond is here as well. We'd also like to thank the statue's sponsors, the Matson Family Foundation, Peter Diamandis on behalf of the X Prize Foundation, and Maria Shriver. And we'd like to thank the Lundeen family of sculptors for their beautiful work. George and Mark Lundeen and fellow artist Joni Boehner, who are here with us today. Where are the Lundeens? There they are. And finally, a huge vote of thanks to the man who had the vision and passion to make this project work, Mr. Steve Barber, who you'll hear from in a little while. So we have a few folks who would like to say a few words, and then we'll announce the winners of the Sally Ride Essay Contest, and those girls will help us with the unveiling. So please join me now in welcoming Nassau County Controller Elaine Phillips.
Thank you, Andy, and I just want to thank the entire staff here at the Cradle of Aviation. Events like this don't just happen. It takes a lot of work and a lot of thought, so let's give them a round of applause. And to all the winners of the essay, thank you for participating and congratulations. So you're probably wondering why the Comptroller of Nassau County is standing up here right now. And I think it probably had something to do with my staff. So thank you, staff. But there's another reason too. And let me first say that Nassau County is in excellent fiscal condition. You might as well get to hear that right here. And on behalf of our county executive, Bruce Blakeman, we are so fortunate to have the Cradle of Aviation in our county. But when I was elected this past November, I was the first woman to be elected as a Nassau County Comptroller. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I won't be the last. And when we actually had our inauguration ceremony here at the Cradle of Aviation, and beforehand I was thinking, what do I say? You know, I've been in politics for X amount of years. I've been in the financial service industry for 35 years. Nobody wants to hear that. And I thought about this museum, and I thought about women who have made firsts in science. And Sally Ride came to my mind. And that day, I looked at the young women in the audience and said, how do you become the first woman, or the second, or the fifth, or the 100th? But how do you get ahead in life? And the answer, or one of the answers, is hard work, obviously, but it is also saying yes when an opportunity presents itself. And I will tell you, there are many times in many of my jobs and careers in the past, was I fully prepared to do the job? The answer is no. But I said yes. And you think about it, Sally Ride, she didn't grow up thinking she was going to be an astronaut, first American woman in space. An opportunity came about, and she applied out of thousands and thousands of women and men. So, to the young women out in the audience, when an opportunity comes, it's our responsibility to say yes. So may God bless you. May God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Elaine. Now I'd like to bring up the Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees of the museum. She serves in a new role with the Cradle, but she is President of GSE Dynamics, which is an aerospace company in Suffolk County. So please welcome Ann Shabunko Moore.
Thank you so much, Andy. I think that's the first time I've heard that title since we were just voted in yesterday. So that was really nice for you to all have an event that I can now speak at. So, but really, getting down to it, first of all, Andy and the leadership, prior chair Mark McDonald, who serves as a mentor to me personally, but the leadership at the Cradle certainly embodies leadership across the board. Obviously, I'm a woman-owned small business. Penny was just made the new chair. Teresa, who also runs a very successful woman-owned small business in the aerospace and defense arena. So thank you to the Cradle for giving a platform and a forum to do this. And of course, as we look at the statue behind me, we remember why we are all here. And I have Zoe in front of me, who's my new friend who I just met. Zoe, I'm not going to ask you to stand up, but you also embody why we are here today. A young female, hopefully very excited about the world ahead of her with science. The future of aerospace and defense that I think is in such an exciting phase of technology. So we invite you, the board invites you to continue to be engaged in this industry. Again, enjoy the legacy that we are celebrating today, but please engage and be part of the future ahead, not only here at the Cradle, but for the United States as we progress forward in our own aerospace and defense technology. So thank you all for being here to support this great day.
All right, now what I'd like to do is introduce the one person who had the vision and the passion for this project, Mr. Steve Barber. Steve first approached us over a year ago, and he's been relentless in raising funds and promoting this project every day of the week. In his day job, he's an award-winning documentarian, but in his night job, he's been tireless in bringing this statue project through fruition here at the Cradle. So we all have a very, very big debt of gratitude. Please welcome Mr. Steve Barber.
Good morning, Long Island. I've been dying to say that. Thank you, everybody. This is, well, what a special day. I mean, it's just amazing. I'm so glad to be here. Once again, my name's Stephen Barber. I'm the project manager. And by the way, pass out those Sally Ride quarters. When we do unveil, I want everybody to hold their hands in the air and yell, "Ride, Sally, Ride." That'll be a lot of fun. I was the project manager on the Apollo 11 monument at the Kennedy Space Center, and I was fortunate to be the project manager on the Apollo 13 monument at the Houston Space Flight Center. While I was working on these monuments, it occurred to me there were 0 monuments to any women from NASA. 65 women had flown in space, thousands and thousands of women had worked in NASA, and there wasn't one monument to any of them. So it occurred to me at that time, let's shine the light on female American exceptionalism, and what a better way to start than with the first American woman in space, Sally Ride. That's why we're all here today, to celebrate this incredible pioneer, not only as a woman, but as a brilliant physicist and an inspiration for the last 39 years. In fact, tomorrow, as Andrew said, tomorrow's the 39th anniversary of Sally Ride's flight into the cosmos. As divine providence would have it, I live in Santa Monica, California, and Sally is buried a mile from my house, which is, to me, the odds of that are about 1,000,000,000 to 1. But I've been going over her gravesite once a week, putting up flags, saying hi. I asked her if I thought she might like me, but as some of the people in this audience know, I am an acquired taste. So I'm not quite sure, but her sister said she probably would have gotten me, which I thought was about the best compliment I could get. Before we can start, I'd like to really thank a few people. I mean, and I really want just a huge round of applause. I mean, the sculptors and myself, and we're all indebted to Andrew Parton. If it wasn't for Andrew, none of this would happen in his belief. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Parton. Thank you, Andy. I mean, he was the linchpin to all of this. I also want to thank, well, her real name is Geraldine, but people know her as Carolyn now. So it's Carolyn, who's a beyond tireless marketing director. Carolyn, put your hands up. There she is. All right. And her entire staff. I've never actually had anyone help me before. This is the first time I've had any assistance when it comes to unveiling these monuments and getting the word out there. So I'm so grateful. I mean, thank you very much. Also, I was really fortunate. I was in Vegas last year at the SEMA show, and I met a young millennial, and I was blown away by her intellect. Her name is Zoe McAlpin. Zoe, put your hand up. She is from Long Island. I met her and her dad, and she went through thousands of essays to pick our first essay winner. So I want to thank you, Zoe, very much. And of course, I have to thank our sponsors that really believe in this project. Leroy Mitchell, who's the CEO of Cinemark Theater, is just a great Texan, just a great American. He's a great Christian, and he believes in God, country, story, patriotism, and legacy. And he was gave me the first check, which really put a fire into my butt to get moving. Mark and Melissa Matson, who couldn't make it today, but once again, great Americans believe in American exceptionalism at the highest level. Peter Diamandis, who I had this spacesuit. Now, a lot of people are saying, why is this guy wearing a spacesuit? Well, because I was working on Avatar years and years ago, and I had this spacesuit, and I literally found it about a year ago. It fell out of my closet. When I saw SpaceX, I started calling Peter and bugging the heck out of him, and after about a year, he finally said, I'll give you X amount of money, leave me alone. And I said, okay. So that worked out real well, so I thought I'd wear the spacesuit. And last but not least, I mean, this is so apropos, and it's just funny how things come full circle. For all you young people out there, in 1961, the great President Jack Kennedy got up at Rice University and said, we're going to land a man on the moon in 9 years and bring him safely back. And that was my inspiration for Apollo 11 and Apollo 13 and Sally Ride. And the First Lady of California, the former First Lady, Maria Shriver, gave me my last donation. So have her name on this plaque is full circle. To have a Kennedy on the Sally Ride Monument is just as good as it gets. So I want to thank Maria Shriver with all my heart. It's incredibly apropos. So big round of applause for our sponsors, everybody. Thank you. And I want to introduce, in my humble opinion, and they get a little embarrassed when I say this, but it is true. These are not just the greatest sculptors in America. These are the greatest sculptors in the world for many reasons. The family Lundin, George and Mark, who have believed in me, which is hard to do sometimes. So anyway, their unwavering spirit has been amazing for me. So everybody put your hands together for George and Mark Lundin and master sculptor Joey Boehner behind the tree hiding. Joey is the heir apparent. And I do want to also mention we have a great IBMer, an executive from IBM here, Alexandra Leggett, who has been tireless in the last 2 years.